Galdr is the quest I want to explain to you today. That was an excerpt of some of what it can sound like, what you're doing within, and I want to explain more about Galdr. So if you're interested in this subject, please carry on watching. Welcome to this video, welcome to this subject. I wanted to talk today about the practice of Galdr, because Galdr can be used in two ways. It can be separate from Seder or part of the Seder practice. It is a form of magic. It is a thing that you can twist and change people's mental attitude towards it. A little bit like what we get with the music of today. You know what I mean. You like a song, the words come into you, and sometimes that music can change what you feel and think and how you deal with things. So if it's a very sad song and it keeps playing in your mind, you could end up becoming very depressed. And so words in particular are very powerful, and that is what Galdr is all about. Changing something, adding something. In bad ways, you can also push somebody to do something. So Galdr has many facets to it, but today's practitioners would probably use it more for healing and protection. We do not have really any examples that have been left or handed down to us, but I know that poetry has been used and so has the runes, but it's got to be an emotional state for it to be able to be released, because it's the power that's within us. So if something really has made you feel you want to do something about it, say for example, you think somebody needs healing really badly and you really feel for that person, then that would be the time to maybe write down a few words of what you would like to happen, and then to actually sing it in a way that is emotional, that comes from the feelings that you're feeling, not just the words, because it's the feeling that pushes through that power. And that's what you're aiming for with the Galdr Magick. You can see that Odin also used this, and you can look at that in the Havamal. It talks about his 18 magical practices that he can do, but they're all Galdr based. He can change people, he can make them do things, mainly about the ocean and battle, of course, but you can see the expanse of how he could use that. And it's also a point of reference so that you can see it's not just something that has been made up. Modern day practitioners do it differently. You have those that use the runes, and that's Galdr staff. It is based on the Galdr book, which was written in the 1600s, so it is fairly modern and written by Christian theology. So when you see and I'll put the pictures above the Galdr staff symbols, they are more like sigils, but you have to recognise the fact that they're not really linked back in the heathen or pagan belief system, that they are Christianised, but still worthy to be used. And of course a lot of people use them with the runes, so we change things. Life changes, modern day practices change, guys, so don't get caught up in all of that. But what I would say is the best part of being able to do Galdr is to use it from your own insides, your own emotions, because that's where the magic is. It's within you and your practice with spirit, deity, or the ancestors because that energy will aid you. It's not giving it to you, but it's inciting you also to use what you have to bring it out into the world. And the term I always use for magic, and it's in many of my videos, is thought made word made deed. Look at the mermaid or the merman in the sea. The mermaid especially, or the siren as she's called, would do a song that would entice the sailors to jump off the boat and commit suicide. It was the song of death. Never listen to the song of the siren, and most sailors even today will say if you hear the siren song you will die. And that is a powerful recognition of how it can affect people. And another point I would like to make, guys, is if we was to have words and chants that are being left and passed down, they wouldn't really correspond with how we live today. They were made for the time that those people were living. So you can write poetry if you're really interested in that, like putting your words down, and make a song of your own, incorporating all the emotion and everything in that particular thing that you want done. Say for example, you really needed to see a change in something that was happening at home, and you was to write how you're feeling about that aspect of what's happening and how you would like it to change, so you could have it like a story, you know, a beginning, a middle and an end. Then you cut it down, take the words out you don't need, and then make it more into a chant, something that rhymes so you can remember. But then you need to be able to sing it, and this is where a lot of people get embarrassed and self-conscious and don't think they can. And the reason behind that, guys, is because in this world our throat chakras get completely shut off and we can't bring it out. So my belief is that before we start it, we have to do some things that will aid us in the practice until we get used to doing it, and not to feel self-conscious. If you get yourself in the right state of mind, if you get yourself another level up, and with your spiritual backing, with your deities or whoever it is you're calling in that day to aid you, you don't need to worry about how you sound or how you're feeling, because when you sing out the Galdr, it can bring up emotions. It can make you want to scream, or it makes you want to get angry, or it makes you want to cry, or it makes you want to laugh. It is all about emotion, and emotion is our power point. People spend a lot of time cutting the emotion off because they don't want people to see them vulnerable. It's not being vulnerable to show your emotions, guys, I've got to tell you. And in magic especially, we can let go. We can give off our energy, as long as it is done in the right way and contained in the right way. There is no problem to it, unless you're doing something that you shouldn't be, of course. So as a beginner, how do I start? Well, the best way to do this is to not even think about words. You know, Galdr doesn't have to be words. It can just be feelings. It can be how you're feeling and how the words come out, or just a feeling and so a sound. A lot of practitioners make animal sounds to start with, or if they're feeling they need to get some strength, they might start to imitate what a bear sounds like, or what a bird sounds like, or even a hissing noise, which could be a snake. All these things are acceptable in Galdr. If you know that there's a meaning behind it, a feeling behind it, an emotion, then it is acceptable, because that's what the gods want. That's what the universal energy wants. It wants to feel what you want, what you feel, what you can do. And then you will start to see how that magic works. It is an amazing form of seeing your magic work, and I love it, and I do use it a lot. I do it off the cuff. It comes from spirit, and words just come to me, or noises just come to me, like at the beginning when I did that little excerpt. It's all about letting go. Now, before you start, the best way you can do it is to open your chakra. If you can open your solar plexus, which is just above your belly button, and it is yellow and it is big and it is where you're feeling from, so you need to open that one. You need to open up your throat chakra, and you also need the third eye and the crown. So if you can open just those, well, sometimes people open all of them, but depending on where you're at, what it's about. Because, for example, if it's something that you want to do for somebody else, then the heart chakra. If your heart is in the right place, then open that as well. But I would say anything underneath that I wouldn't open, just from the solar plexus up. You open up those chakras, guys, and you cleanse them before you use them, because a lot of our chakras can be closed off due to everyday things that are going on. So you need really to be able to open them. And you will know if your throat is blocked, because you will feel it in your throat. It will feel like a dull ache, and you will feel like you want to gag, you know, that you can't get what you want out. So you can open it still, but you need to bring through, and I always use the water from Yggdrasil. I know it sounds weird, but the 4 rivers that come away from Yggdrasil. If it's going to be emotion, then I will go to the west water, and that water would then come in and cleanse through. And then you can ground that as well by using the earth energy from the North River, and bring that in. And then when you've done that, you will feel open, you will feel able to do what you want. Once you've done that, you can then, if it makes you feel safer, open a little circle around you and call in your protectors. Now, obviously, depending on your practice, depends on who you call in. So if you're a traditional, you're going to want to call in the 4 quarters. If you're shamanic, you're going to call it in the elements, or those aspects that you want. And that is the best way to do it from your heart, who you want. For me, it changes. So 1 week I might use elements, 1 week I might use ancestors, 1 week I might use just peace of the eternal energy, a bubble of energy that you know is there for you, and that is brilliant. It makes you feel completely at ease and protected. You can go to all the effort of doing salt water and burning incense. It's not necessary, but if you want to, then go ahead and do so. And once you've got yourself all set, the next thing you need to do is have an instrument of power, which could be a rattle, a drum. You don't need them, but they can aid you in a big way. Now, here's my drum, and I'm going to show you what I mean. If you have a drum, guys, it's the best way to shift you. And if you shift, then you're not going to worry about how you sound. And to start with, the best way you can do this is to just go with the sound of the drum. So if you beat it lightly, like this, and listen to what it sounds like. It's continuous, it's not letting you down, it's there, it's vibrating, and it's comforting. A lot of people are shocked at the drum is comforting. it's because the primal of us inside can relate to the drum. It's something that we've had since time immemorial, and it really helps us to shift. And as we breathe as well, taking in the breath through the nose, holding and letting it out through the mouth. And these things will aid you to connect to this sound, to the drum, to the energy. And then we think about what it is we want to do now. For me today, I just want to partake joy and give joy to the world. So you don't have to say any words, but you can go into just a feeling within, in that solar plexus, allowing it to brew inside how it would feel to be joyous, to be full of joy, and want to give it out to everybody. And that beat in the background is there. And so we then let a sound escape from us. And it can be anything. It can be just a see, there's a noise. It doesn't mean it's got to be perfect. It doesn't mean that people are going to stand there and laugh at you. No, you are in the right place. You are in your own space. And you want to partake and give joy. So you can move the beat now to something more joyous. And that will change your sound, because you want to be with that drum beat. So you can go ha 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 ha. But that is a form of Galdr. That is your emotions changing and merging with the beat of the drum. And then portraying how you feel and thinking about the people around you and wanting to give that out. It is done. It is done. As soon as you do that, that magic is done. It's gone. And that's the beauty of Galdr. So I would suggest to anybody starting that they do their research, because obviously I'm doing it from my point of view, how I practice, and I do put it in with my Seder practice. I find it's a very good way to feel like you are connecting to that inner power, but also giving out and using the outer power too. So I hope this has been of some help to some of you out there. And if you've got any questions, guys, please put them down in the comment section. And also, thank you to my new subscribers. I do thank you, because it's really going to help the channel grow. And once I get to a certain level, I will then be doing more, probably on Patreon and stuff like that. So if you haven't subscribed and you are watching my content, please, please, please will you subscribe. It's free. You just need to push that little button and I will be eternally grateful. Thank you. And to those that are always there for me, I really do appreciate you guys. Without you, it wouldn't be possible to keep this going. So, have a great week coming, and I will be back next week. Wherever you are, whatever time of day, night or evening it may be, I wish you the best ever. House of Lang.